major factor in keeping your body upright is the muscle production and force in the thighs. If the thighs work properly, they'll actually buoy up the bottom of the rib cage. But if the thighs are contracted from locking the knee, cocking the hip, crossing the legs, crossing the arms, your hands behind your back, all the various social gestures of compression, the thigh tends to drag the bottom of the rear rib cage forward and downward, and that will cause either a pot belly or the butt sticking out. So we're going to use a chair here to challenge the thigh into what's called long eccentric flex. We did this slightly with the step lunge. This is a little bit more advanced. To help you out, get yourself a cane or a stick or something to hold on to. This is just for balance for your mind. Okay, I'm just going to put this out here. You know, so I'm just going to leave a couple fingers on it. I'm not bearing down on it. Step away from the edge of your chair. Put the ball of your foot on the edge of the chair. Press the heel down. Place your palm on the thigh and push. You'll find your body will lift up a little. Again, there's no real dependence on this. This is just in case you get a little wavery here. So, if you look here, you'll see how my thigh, I'm going to change this to the other side a moment. You see how my thigh is back at about 45 degrees. So if I want to challenge it a little more, I'll push my hips down till that thigh comes pretty close to 90. Then I'm just going to push the foot. Notice my knee doesn't straighten out. Push, push, push. Okay. When I release and stand up, you may see how I'm a little longer on that side. And as I walk, you're going to see push coming off that leg. Once again, the aim or the result of every exercise is to give you more automatic upward rebound. Rebound is the nature of the body with an intelligent response to gravity. Let's look at the other leg. So here, right foot forward, left foot back. Once again, just have this as a sort of it's a reference in space for your mind. Okay, point your toes up, push your front heel down. Now, let me step back a little bit. So right now you can see my rear thighs at about that angle, about 45. Keeping the rear heel floating, and this is important, make sure your weight is on the ball of the foot, not on the toes. Press your hips down, then just push with the rear foot. Push, push, push. If you see this in the mirror, I'll just put my hand on my hip. You notice that my hips stay level no matter what my feet are doing. In the healthy hip socket, there's enough room in the hip socket for the thigh to move forward and back, up and down inside the socket without the hips going up and down or forward and back. When you do this, you'll feel a tremendous amount of force on the ball of the rear foot. Keep your shoulders arched and your head pushing back. Open your mouth, soften your lips. Now push the back leg and push the front heel down. The back leg pushes back, the front heel pushes down. Release. Let me put this away a moment. Stand up, and when you stand up, other than the upward feel you have through your body, you'll feel a widening and a horizontal expansion at the base of the ribs. When this goes wide at the base of the ribs, you'll find the whole body's collected forcibly upward. It greatly improves your lung capacity and takes tension off of your face. Okay, now if you were to do this, let's say, without the chair, if I'm just facing forward to you here, to help the lift here, put your thumbs at the bottom of your rib cage. Reach around and put your forefingers at the corners of the ribs. All right? Now push your hips down, lean back a little bit. Now simply flex the front foot up, lift the rear heel. And now touch the front and release, touch the front and release, touch the front and release. If I put my hands on my hips, you see how my hips stay level? That's because my feet are forceful. If I'm just changing weight from foot to foot, you'll see the little sideways and tilting there. Whenever the hip tilts, the bun on that side has stopped functioning. The rear end holds the hip socket in place. So front foot up, just tap, tap, tap. If you look at that from the back, you'll see that the rear heel is constantly slightly off the ground. So there's always force in that foot. Okay, so you can do this a little more effective on the chair because it stretches the quad a little more. Once again, when the quad stretches, it'll lift the ribs up. When the ribs come up, you begin to repair almost immediately this corruption and compression from fatigue, from nervousness. If you're a very tall person, you live in a shorter world, so you tend to hunch to socialize. Rather than try to make this change locally, you want force coming up from the rebound engine of your legs to drive the ribs to bounce upwards and open the chest. As the chest opens, the face relaxes. That's how you use the thigh that way. Now notice in here we had the force on the bottom of the foot. So because we walk and push off the bottom of the foot, that's a skill you need to acquire, but muscles are subject to monotony just like anything else.